Okay, we've got rain moving across the Bay Area this morning. It's not terribly intense, but you can see an organized line marching its way across the bay. We did have a lightning strike in that just around 5 o'clock in the a.m. this morning, which was exactly about 12 hours after we had a lightning strike hit the south tower of the Golden Gate Bridge last night. No damage. It's designed for that, but it was a pretty dramatic show. And here we are watching this line. We've lost the intensity now. This is not going to be sparking any lightning, but this is putting rain on the road. And right now, the focus of it is right through the East Bay. We come in for a close-up look and pick out the city grid. And you can see Berkeley's kind of on the northern edge of it. Oakland, Alameda right in this. And as we go down south, San Leandro, you're seeing some of the better rain, some of the heavier amounts of rain go right through this part of the East Bay shore. And once we come back out for the wider scene on this, that'll work its way across over towards inland Contra Costa County. And there is another line you can see just on the very back edge of this. If you watch the last frame, there's the next line of showers that'll likely march across the bay. So if we look at it on the future cast, even though this is not terribly intense, plan on rain from now through about 9 in the morning. If we play this ahead, here we are at 10 o'clock, and the last of the showers are kind of clearing the South Bay. That actually goes till the early afternoon. And there's more coming after that, from an entirely separate system, actually. So if we just take this first little band of rain this morning, it's like a tenth of an inch of rain. That's what will happen from now through about 10 in the morning. There is still a coastal flood advisory, regardless of the rain falling, because the surf has been intensified thanks to the storm track in the Pacific, really building the swell. And we're kind of in a high tide scenario. So we've had so much flooding to show over the last 2 weeks. From a coastal perspective, it's something to keep in mind through about 9 o'clock on Monday morning if you live in some of those lower lying areas along the shore, even on the interior of the bay. So here comes that next system. This is tonight as we get into the 5 o'clock hour. That's just the start. I want to come in for a closer look. Let's watch this again. We clear out the showers from the morning. Now we've advanced all the way ahead here. 5 and 6 o'clock is when the kind of beginning of this rolls through. But as we go into the overnight hours, we're going to find ourselves in the center of this thing. By that, I mean, if you watch this, you can see there's a counterclockwise rotation to it. This is the center of the area of low pressure that's going to come overhead. And that's important, because when you get into the center of those things, that's where you find your best instability. We might have a few thunderstorms mixed in with this. That's tomorrow morning at 3 a.m. And it stays that way through the morning commute. Here we are Monday in the 6 o'clock hour. Here we are Monday in the 8 o'clock hour. It's still over the South Bay. And then by the time we've gotten past about 11 in the morning, it's cleared and it's moving off towards the east. So the takeaway from this is rain on Monday morning, but by the time we get to about 11 o'clock, it's done. And from then on, your holiday, Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, is not going to have rain on it for at least the second half of the day. The morning will. So whatever your morning plans might be, you should plan on rain. But if you've got something planned in the afternoon, you're a go. No matter what those plans are outdoors, you'll be fine. There might be a few showers on Tuesday that kind of graze down the peninsula, but shouldn't amount to a whole lot. And if we look at the totals, that's not bad. This is from about 5 o'clock this evening through about 10 in the morning on Monday. We'll get about 1.5 inches of rain out of that. That's why there's a flood watch. Stays in effect until Monday night at midnight. In other words, Tuesday, 12 a.m. That's a concern because we could still have some rises on streams and creeks, and it will get windy. If we watch the future cast, you'll see the screen lights up right there. That gets us to Monday morning at 6:30. Those are gusts to 40 miles an hour going right through the heart of the bay. That will be enough. We'll probably have some more issues with downed trees. So that covers the Monday storm and why Monday is the first alert day. Tuesday, sunshine. Wednesday and Thursday, rain, but not that big a deal. Maybe just 1/2 inch of rain from that system. It doesn't look intense enough yet to have to start talking about first alert status on those days. And in fact, those 2 days look like the last days of rain. It'll primarily be Wednesday morning, going through Thursday morning at its latest, and then we're done, and we clear out the storm track going into next weekend, Devin.
You know, the lightning strike on the bridge was impressive. My other observation this morning is, thankfully, my drive up from San Jose was pretty much dry.
You came in right before that line arrived. So
completely different than yesterday, which was almost a bit nightmarish.
Yeah, so nothing about today's rain in the morning is really all that intense. It's just enough to know the streets are getting slick out there now. Tomorrow morning, it's going to be fairly wet, and that Monday morning drive is going to be a little bit more of a tricky navigation than today is.